I grew up as a dancer in Colorado, and that was my passion. It was to be a professional dancer. And so I moved to LA, I went to college, and one of the best jobs I had as a dancer was being a Los Angeles Laker girl. I got to also dance on tour with Rihanna. I was just doing amazing work in the dance industry, and it was then, shortly after dancing for the Lakers, that I was pursued by one of the players. We began dating. He met me when I was 20. It was a very impressionable time. You know, I'm a college kid. I'm just kind of trying to figure out my life. I had never really had a serious boyfriend, and here he was, this Laker player that wanted me, and that flattered me. We kind of dived into this really fast relationship. About 5 months in, we were engaged, and a year later married in 2008. And pretty much immediately into the marriage, I realized we were not on a solid foundation. There was just some really deep wounds that weren't being healed. And two very dependent people. We were trying to depend on each other and not on the Lord. I was trying to really balance my faith and also being submissive to my husband, and how do those work together when I'm living in this different life, this different lifestyle of NBA players and going out and just crazy, you know, environments. And it was a really big struggle for me. I was really starting to feel like the marriage is breaking and I don't know what to do. So about 9 months into the marriage, I became pregnant with my first child, my daughter. I thought that would be something to really bring us together in our marriage and just strengthen it. And over time, it was just becoming more and more apparent that we were drifting farther apart. Why is this so painful? Why am I miserable in my marriage? I know this isn't what marriage was designed to be. So I really kind of began asking God, like, just reveal things to me so I can figure out what to do, how to fix this. I was at a church service where it was a July 4th church service, and the pastor talked about surrender. I mean, the whole premise of Independence Day, just waving your white flag and surrendering your life. And I felt my heart was like gonna explode from my chest. I had given my life to the Lord as a kid, but I had never been baptized. And here I am, 25, and I'm sitting in that auditorium and my heart is like pounding, and I knew I needed to go up there and be baptized. And it was from that moment on, everything started changing. You know, a lot of times when you pray for something so hard, it actually gets worse. And that's what happened. The things I was praying about actually got worse. One of the things I prayed for was that God would just show me how to create some boundaries in my marriage. I knew that was what He was telling me, was there need to be some boundaries, because some secrets were coming out, some just things were happening. I was getting dreams, and I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what those boundaries would look like, or if I had the strength to make boundaries. A couple months later, I ended up getting pregnant with my second child, my son, and it was about 5 months in. I was 5 months pregnant, and supernaturally I was exposed to evidence of infidelity. And I knew God had been revealing, He was revealing to me what I was praying for, that this is what's really happening. Your spiritual eyes are open now, and this is what's going on. I had to make some really hard decisions about what to do with what I saw. We really just tried to work through it. Things weren't changing. It was really a painful time, and it climaxed to a moment of physical abuse. And it was from that moment, exactly a year later, July 3rd, 2012, where physical abuse was what led me out of my marriage. I felt like God was reaching into a pit and pulling me out, and I left. Then about a month and a half later, I had my son, Roman, and it was the beginning of just a new life for me. I started over, and I had to rely on Jesus for everything. Everything I had trusted in before, myself, my husband, my life, my money, my whatever security blankets I had before, they were gone. And the beauty of it all was that God had replaced all of that. For the first time in my life, I felt such a peace. I mean, anybody from the outside looking at me would think, okay, she's alone in an apartment, you know, she's raising these kids by herself, she just left everything she had. Why would she be peaceful? But it was God. It was God's peace, because now He was living in me and like really the driver's seat of my life. Now I'm a single mom. I'm doing all these amazing things with my passions that I never ever thought I could do. I'm working in ministry, I'm teaching dance, I'm just doing video and photography and acting and all sorts of things that I was always passionate about at a young age, and now I'm using them for His glory. I didn't know what my life was going to look like. Yes, I came from a scary situation with so many unknowns, but now I have just the peace and the hope that only God can give to just go forward in joy and excitement for what He's going to do in my life and my children. I am changed. I am not the same person that I used to be. I am so filled with hope.